Yugoslavia didn't disintegrate in an instant. Korea didn't reunite post-war. Sudan didn't achieve peace through its division. Today, Ukraine faces not only warfare, it's becoming a delineation on a map. Distinct nations, unique cultures, diverse histories, yet they all converge to a similar outcome. Not through unity, not via victory. Instead, we witness separations enduring through generations. This is not mere coincidence. It's a recurring pattern. Modern conflicts no longer strive to unite societies. Their aim is to freeze them in place. Contemporary wars don't divide populations due to hatred. They do so because division is seen as the safest resolution when power disagreements arise. Today, we will investigate why modern wars persist in causing divisions, who instigates these separations, who benefits from them, and why historical patterns suggest many of today's disputes might never find true closure. The phenomenon of wars not ending. Throughout history, wars typically had definitive conclusions. Empires expanded. Borders shifted. Victors reigned. However, a transformation occurred after World War II. The advent of nuclear weapons rendered total victory perilous. Global trade rendered prolonged warfare economically disastrous. Meanwhile, international bodies began to value stability over resolution. Consequently, wars didn't vanish. They evolved. Instead of firm conclusions, we began witnessing armistices replacing peace treaties, ceasefires supplanting reconciliation, buffer zones substituting unity. Contemporary wars often conclude only part way. They do not resolve existing tensions. Rather, they freeze them in place. Yugoslavia, a fragmentation rather than a unity. Yugoslavia was not an ancient chaos waiting to explode. It stood as a functional multi-ethnic state. With various religions, languages, and shared institutions, it thrived. Following the Cold War, Yugoslavia lost its strategic significance. Economic difficulties ensued, and political legitimacy weakened. Identities became politicized. Yet it wasn't violence that sparked change. It was recognition. Instead of fostering a shared state, the international community acknowledged the breakaway republics, sent peacekeepers instead of peace builders, managed fragmentation rather than fostering unity. Thus, one nation transformed into numerous nations. Borders solidified. Trauma endured. Reconciliation remained elusive. The lesson from Yugoslavia is clear. Fragmentation is often more economical than reconstruction. Korea, a stalemate. Prior to 1950, Korea was a unified society. One language, one history. The Korean War didn't conclude, it ceased. An armistice effectively froze the conflict at the 38th parallel. Why was this? Because achieving total victory risked provoking superpower escalation. Thus, division emerged as the compromise. 70 years later, we witness two heavily militarized states, one unresolved conflict, millions separated by an arbitrary line. Korea illustrates that frozen conflicts can extend beyond the duration of wars themselves. Ukraine, a real-time buffer war. Ukraine exists between conflicting systems. To the west, there's NATO and the European Union. To the east is Russia's sphere of influence. The conflict in Ukraine transcends mere territorial disputes. It concerns alignment. Historical patterns inform us of possible futures. As front lines stabilize, we see diverging political futures, increased difficulty in reunification, normalized division. This does not imply the war will entirely end. It suggests a freeze. Ukraine increasingly resembles Korea post-1953, Germany during the Cold War, Cyprus following its division. Buffer wars seldom culminate in victory. They conclude with demarcations. Taiwan, a conflict yet to start. Taiwan epitomizes a divided reality. One civilization, two political trajectories, significant external involvement. It mirrors Korea prior to 1950 or Germany before 1961. Frozen conflicts may appear stable until the balance shifts. History cautions us. Frozen divisions do not signify peace. They represent suspended crises. Eastern DRC, conflict without borders. Eastern Congo embodies not merely one war, but a multitude of interwoven conflicts. After decades of turmoil, borders remain unchanged. Conflict continues unabated. Why is this so in DRC? Because instability serves specific interests. Resource extraction perpetuates. Regional leverage remains intact. The war economy flourishes. Eastern DRC illustrates that fragmentation can persist without formal partitioning. Instability transforms into an organizing principle. Sudan and AMP, South Sudan, an illusion of peace. Sudan separated in 2011. The split was marketed as a pathway to peace. The outcome? Ongoing conflict in Sudan. New fighting erupted in South Sudan. Two fragile nations replaced one weak state. Partition failed to address governance issues. It merely displaced conflict. Historical evidence illustrates division doesn't conclude wars. It disperses them. Ethiopia and AMP. Tigray. The permanent divide. The war in Ethiopia concluded through fatigue rather than reconciliation. Fighting ceased, but divisions lingered. This represents a typical frozen internal conflict. Ceasefires may halt violence, but do not mend rifts. Who sparks these conflicts? These wars do not stem from ancient animosities. Immediate catalysts include elections, power struggles, security crises. Yet the underlying reason remains constant: weak or contested sovereignty amid power transitions. As the global order fractures, unity appears risky, while division seems manageable. Who reaps the benefits? Civilians seldom gain. Those who do include military-industrial entities, political elites, external powers seeking to exploit. War-driven economies, frozen conflicts yield predictability, control, diminished risks of escalation. Peace demands compromise, while division only requires oversight. The disturbing reality of modern war. Modern conflicts do not separate individuals due to inherent animosity. They do so because division emerges as the safest option when power cannot reach consensus. From Yugoslavia to Korea, from Sudan to Ukraine, from Congo to Taiwan, the nature of modern warfare has shifted. Conflicts do not resolve, they are managed. The toll, however, is borne not by empires, but by everyday people, through generations. History does not repeat simply because we overlook it. It recurs because the system chooses division over resolution time and again. Thank you for joining us at Timeless Hub.